Hello, gang. This is going to be a rather odd. Yes, I know. Yeah, I've said it before. But indeed, this is going to be yet another weird, odd, different kind of video exclusive for April 2026. I want to why the movie theater background behind me rather than the regular constitutionalist podcast display to advertise and promote the show? Well, I'm going to read something about to post on X to lead into this. Then I'll go a little more into it. Reading. Just got back from theater. Inception was showing again, and I had to see it. Why? Loss, regret, guilt, desire to want to cling to what one once had. All human condition, underlying emotions and points in the movie. Well, not coincidentally, and why I felt like, I need to take a break from finishing up my book, tentatively titled Lost, that will be the title, due on Amazon in May, really soon. Tentatively titled Lost, that won't be the title, but it'll be easy to recognize. I'm not reading this part now, obviously. But let me go back to reading what will be in the X post. And not coincidentally, also in my fifth in https:// tinyurl.com/life and living series. That's the link of books that'll take you to the Amazon page for the Life and Living series of books. Continuing, will drop in May 2026. Same human nature issues. My book, minus the high budget effects of the Christopher Nolan movie, but all those underlying points there in a much different telling and delivery. Related, I do have something about the book up. It's going to be listed in the book as online bonus materials. I've cut some of this out, put it online to keep the book shorter so I can have it cost less for people buying it to read it. At the bottom of the post, related, that online bonus material, tinyurl.com/lost book intro. All run together, one word instead of three, right? tinyurl.com/lost book intro. That's a sneak peek into the book, behind the scenes of the book, coming in just a few weeks. But indeed, now off the post. In fact, let me hit post. It is now sent. So I can now enlarge the Zoom window since I don't have to read that anymore. And let me go back, adjust background and effects, pull up the standard background. There we go, the regular background back. At any rate, indeed. And some of you are probably going to think, oh, well, oh my, I didn't know this about Joe. I know he has a Christian show, but he's really a religious, fanatical nut job. Why do I say some might think that? Because I'm about to share something about my writing process. I transcribe these books, but they come from somewhere else and above. And why do I say that? Things that aren't coincidence. It can't be coincidental, like Inception at the theaters again for me to see and get those emotions again that are going to be in this book that are in that film, the underlying human nature, human condition stuff, to reinforce what I'm writing and that I'm on the right track with what I've got in my book, to share these things with you. A couple weeks, well, this week, as I'm recording this today, being Thursday, April the 16th, this week is Books/Authors Week, April 2026. Monday through Friday this week. One just dropped earlier today. The behind the scenes sneak peek videos been up at BitChute and YouTube and whatnot since last week for the shows airing this week on my 40-ish audio only platforms. The official release of the Books/Authors Week 2026 episodes. God brought into my path also not just this movie, but what? Maria Jane. I interviewed her, rushed the editing together to get that out this week while I'm working on my lost working title, won't be the title, working title book. Why? Because Mary Jane, her office packed book in her perfect quote unquote series, she introduces an autistic character. What does that have to do with anything? Let me explain. I deal with a bipolar nature of ADHD and OCD. Maria Jane put an autistic character in her office packed book to deal in autism awareness. And I was thinking, well, I have songs at Suno, tinyurl.com/JLD on Suno. Suno is SUNO if you don't know. tinyurl.com/JLD on Suno. I have an ADHD/OCD playlist with a little more than a half a dozen songs created talking about ADHD and OCD. Well, autism, back to Maria Jane, is a spectrum. So is ADHD, so is OCD. Most people hear OCD, all they know is think about Howie Mandel and his germophobia. Well, OCD is a spectrum too. He's just one example of someone in the OCD spectrum. So I was thinking, not in this book, but perhaps the next, to put an ADHD or OCD character in to bring awareness to ADHD and OCD. But after talking to Maria Jane, she was presented at the right time, the right place, while I'm working on this book to tell me, no, not the next book. There's a nightmare chapter in this about a nightmare coming back to haunt Rick, an obsessive, compulsive, reoccurring dream. Well, why wait till the next book to introduce an ADHD or OCD character? Rick is the perfect fit in this book coming in May to touch on OCD, not just the reoccurring nightmare, but other OCD thoughts that won't let him be, won't his inability to turn off the switch in his head at times and continue to obsess over certain things. So I was able to get in this book. Rick is an OCD sufferer, not laying that on heavy, just an OCD awareness play So when I'm talking about the book in interviews, I can be on health shows to talk about the mental health OCD issue, and it is indeed in the book, the one coming in a couple of weeks in May. Again, not something laying on thick, just minor references to make the point and make people aware OCD is more than just Howie Mandel's germophobia. So Maria Jane dealt in autism awareness. I'm dealing in OCD awareness as part of this human nature, human condition, dealing with loss, regret, guilt, the desire to want to cling to what once was, all the things that are in the Inception movie underlying below all them, the high tech, special effects and the action and the blowing things up. None of that in my book. A completely different delivery mechanism, but all of those human nature things in the book nonetheless. So I just wanted to record another video exclusive for April 2026 because I am indeed excited about the book coming, unless, heaven forbid, right, knock on wood, right? But again, I transcribed the book, but all these things have been put into my universe. I have been guided with all these things that are more than just would be coincidental to happen. So they're part of the story, delivering on the loss, the guilt, the regret, and the desire to cling to what once was. These all relate. And it wouldn't have happened without the guidance and these things placed in my path to help make sure they get into the book. But I'm excited about the book, and knock on wood, as long as I don't get hit by a bus and put in the hospital or killed, heaven forbid, the book will be out in May of 2026, dealing in these things. Again, I don't mention the Nolan film Inception to hype the book, other than to say, yes, underlying points are the same. Are his big expensive film way different than the way I deliver on those points of human nature and human condition, but the points there nonetheless. So I'm excited. I know people say that about every book. Oh, this is my best work ever. And celebrities, actors, and actresses, oh, this is my best movie I've ever done. It's the most deep. It's the most. I'm not saying this for promotional value only. I really mean it. I'm here saying it because it is what I believe. It's going to be a short story, lower end novelette kind of size as far as page count and story size goes. So, is it my best book ever? I don't know. That's not for me to decide. That's for everybody out there to make that judgment. It's like asking a parent to pick their favorite kid. I can't say that. You kind of need to decide that for yourself. You might prefer Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You because there's a whole lot more to it. It's a full novel. The first in the Life and Living series. But again, all these different stories, different main lead characters. You don't have to read them in the series in sequence. You can read them out of order. You can read the one at the end without ever reading the four that came before it, or you can read them out of order if you so choose. that it's not a series in a J.K. Rowling Potter sense or a Tom Clancy Jack Ryan novel series sense where it's the recurring characters, and this version kind of you need to know the last one to understand this one. No, that's not the case with tinyurl.com/life and living series of books. Okay, I've gone longer than I planned on going. So again, I told you this would be weird, odd, another strange delivery of thoughts. But I I felt I had to share this with you. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. Love you all.